How's it going, guys? Oddly unorthodox. We are back again playing another Lizardmen game. You know, not one to disappoint, trying to get a few more factions out and about there. And believe it or not, it takes a while because I like to try and find the best videos I can, or ones that have got a little bit more interest. I don't want ones that are just complete and utter stomps, or ones where we get complete and utterly stomped, because they'll only be about 5 minutes long. And it's quite difficult finding 2v2 or 3v3 games where it's not an absolute lag fest. We can pray one day for dedicated servers, but I doubt it. Right. Getting into this game quite quickly. I went for quite a wide build for the Lizardmen. Bit different, no Saurus in this one. So, we went 1, 2, and I'm pretty sure there's even more. Is that it? I thought I brought more. So, right, we've got 3 skink cohorts. We've got 2 red-crested skinks, that's the one. 3 red-crested skinks. The cohort of Sotek, for anyone that's sort of new to Lizardmen or doesn't really play this game, it gives them, basically they're unbreakable, and they've also got a refuse to die ability that it lasts for 20 seconds and you can use it every 60 seconds. So it makes them quite good. You know, they're poison attacks, so they're reducing the stats of everything they're fighting anyway. You know, we brought the Star Chamber Guardians, which obviously the Temple Guard, just all round good units. You know, they give physical resistance to everything around them, and obviously they've got sort of predatory senses, charge defense, armor piercing, armored and shielding. Good units. Colostodon Hunters, which are the Ripodactyl Riders Regent of the Renown version. Basically anti-large. I thought going against Tzeentch, there's a good chance there might be Screamers or, you know, Exalted Chariots, but there's, you know, even Gorgers. And they've got obviously their Doom Knights as well, so good for aerial battles, anti-large. Got Frenzy on them, and they've got a mean ability, Toad Rage, where they do go on rampage, but they gain 50% base weapon damage and 50% armor piercing weapon damage. Quite insane. So this game, I basically built quite a sort of, there you go, 4 skink cohorts. Yeah, I thought I brought more than 3. Isn't me going crazy, guys. So, I bought a very wide army. And then at the back, I've got the one and only, giving him a go, Oxyotl. And then we've got 4 chameleon skinks and 1 chameleon stalkers. So, a bit of a sneaky vanguard just to try and get them from behind. Hopefully catch them unaware. Hopefully get on top of these lead belchers, stuff like that. So the one thing that hit me as soon as I started deploying was my undead ally also went quite a big army with Mortis Engine and, you know, Corpse Cart. Quite a cool undead, you know, undead Tide-esque army. And you can see here, we deployed like 3,500 units, where they deployed pretty much only 1,500. Not uncommon for ogres, because obviously ogres don't have a massively bulky roster, except for nobblers, because, you know, they're ogres. They're big, hench-looking creatures, humanoid-type creatures. But the Chaos, the Tzeentch player, also went quite elite, choosing to go for, like, obviously the Demon Prince of Tzeentch, and he's got a Chaos Sorcerer on his disc. He's got the Doom Knights floating around as well somewhere. I know I saw him a minute ago. There they are. And he's also got, if I remember correctly, that'll be here somewhere. There you go, the Severed Claw Aspiring Champions too. So, you know, both of them went very elite, whereas we went very wide. You know, massive amounts of armies. And let's get ahead to try and get some action going. So, I was sneaking through the forest with my sneaky chameleons. I feel like a lot of the videos that I've uploaded lately has just been me sneaking through forests and trying to ambush people. I promise this is not the only strategy I know. And I will get a video up later on in the week of a amazing Dreadsaurian game, which is something you don't see very often. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So he runs straight in with Felbats just to sort of you know, swoop down and try and lock down units. We've got double Vargheists, just really beating on the Demon Prince of Tzeentch. We do find some Sky Striders, which obviously they are the crushers with great weapons. I'm more than happy to take this trade. Obviously, it's not ideal for my Chameleon Stalker's weapons to be throwing them into trees. But, I mean, you know, the Sky Striders are a really expensive unit. You know, probably the best part of all these chameleons combined. So, I've already took one model down. You know, they're poisoned. He's realised, actually, he doesn't want that fight. He's just getting peppered. He's just getting sprayed to pieces. So he pulls out of that fight quite quickly. Oh, and I forgot one more tech piece. I hid him in the trees at the back. I did bring some Lizardmen hunting packs. Just because, you know, they're quite cool. They're quite scaly. Anyone that knows anything about myself, before I moved up where I'm living at the moment, I had an avid collection of reptiles ranging from Burmese pythons to savannah monitors. Something I do look on getting back into when I purchase my house in the future. But I'm a real big fan of reptiles. I've got a sulcata tortoise that I brought with me. As you can imagine, he is quite a handful. But these guys are just... the whole Lizardmen roster is so cool. I will get some games of some sort of, you know, feral carnosaurs, stegodons, stuff like that. Get some real beastly action going on. So as you can see, we got rid of the Sky Striders. They ran off. They didn't want any of this smoke. He decided to go use them to try and clear out things attacking. I had sort of Closodon hunters targeting them and stuff like that. But he then sends the Knights of Immolation, which is fine. I've done what I tell you guys always to do. Take off that awful command, that skirmishing command, where they constantly run in one direction altogether. Split all your squads up and just pepper them. You know, this is another squad that is a very expensive quad. If he gets one Chameleon Skink squad dead for them, it's a worthwhile trade. And you can see he's getting absolutely peppered. Holding a lot of models for the HP though. What's he lost? You know, it's not got much HP on there. And to have 13 models is quite impressive. But as you can see, they are dwindling now down to 9, and we're chopping them down. The Ripidactyls are doing a good job for losing quite a lot of their models. There's still only 3 of them left. But you know, anti-large, they definitely do job well, and these guys are anti-infantry. Don't get me wrong, the Knights of Immolation put up a good fight, but you know, at this point they're just going to go down. Only 3 of them left, and I'm just going to keep volleying them until they die. Make sure they're gone, not have to deal with them. Back to the main fight. The Vampire Counts obviously wraps up this fight quite nicely. I think the army that the Tzeentch player put together was very heavy armour. A lot of Chaos Warriors, but not many of them. And they're just struggling to deal with how wide the actual army is. You know, this is the Temple Guard roaming in here. And these guys will take forever to break off. They're so hard. And the Ogres are going to struggle to get rid of those now. These Red Crest, the cohort of Sotek, not having as much as a difficult fight. They're just bashing some Noblars. And all this time, I was just sort of using Oxyotl. He was sniping their Lord, who I think is dead now. No, it's not. He's got a little bit of HP. And now he's shooting the Sky Striders. And I've obviously dealt with the Knights now, so I moved the Chameleon Skinks down. And we can start spraying the units. You know, these Chaos Warriors, these squads, just shooting freely now. You know, they've not got enough squads to really lock down how many squads we've got, which is really their downfall. It's always worthwhile if you're playing a multiplayer game and you're playing with randoms like I do. Have a look at your allies build. If you notice your allies going a very elite army, bringing a lot of the regions to renown, it's ideal sometimes that you don't. I tried to dodge this thinking it was going to be some big spell, and it was just some hounds. That's fine. I'll just take the Lord, I'll kill him, no problem. I'll trade him for the hounds, not a problem. And you know, over here the Court of Sotek just dealing with more Noblars. I feel like I've only used them to kill Noblars so far. Not a very effective way of them, but they're just, look, 40 kills, 91 worth gold. So the fight in the middle is pretty much done. You know, with the summoning from him and the amount of bodies, An important thing to note in this fight was I made sure not to group. So he's got a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw, and obviously he's also got Tzeentch Magic. Metal and normal Tzeentch Magic, I believe. I wanted to make sure I didn't sort of... What those sort of allies love for you to do is for you... Did he just buff my skinks? Yeah, fair enough. They like to get you to, say, force you to fight on top of a Slaughtermaster, bring all your units into box, and then they just absolutely nuke you with the Tzeentch ability or stuff like this. Feel no... You know, don't think, oh, I better running so my allies run in. Sit a few squads back. Only send one squad in if you know they're going to win the fight. You know, don't make it extremely obvious and allow them to play at their strengths. Play at your own. You know, you've got a super wide army. Use that super wide to your bonus. You know that 1-for-1 your squads might lose, but run one squad in and then either send them back up from range in the form of chameleon skinks. And this plays dividends in any army if you're going wide. You know, he could have went Tzeentch Marauders to the Sunset, followed up by Horrors, which he would have had a lot larger army, which would have allowed him to cover the Leadbelchers and his ally a lot better, but instead he couldn't actually deal with how much there was on the map. You know, we look at the I'm going to take you to the faction screen just to really push this point home. You know, you're talking, his army got a good amount of kills, you know, 121 kills, 207 kills. But it doesn't really matter when even your units to get 400 kills, it's only 700 gold. This squad alone is worth more than that. I'm pretty sure they're worth more than that. I think they're around the 800 gold mark, Chaos Warriors. I might be wrong there. But, you know, you're looking, if, yeah, your units are getting 300, 400 kills on a good day. Some are only getting 100. You know, we've deployed 1,200 more units on them on each army. You know, it's okay going, oh, they've killed 100 units when you've got a 100-man skink cohort squad that costs you 350 gold. But it's playing to your strengths. If you're going a wide army, you need to fully appreciate that you won't have the assets to deal with one-on-one squads. You've got to play dirty, hit and run them. You know, stack the old Razored and hunting packs on top of skinks to get armour piercing, but let the skinks take the beating on their shields. You know, you'll notice your skinks are fighting knights. Go send the cloths on hunters to help fight those knights off. It's all about just taking fights here and when you need them. You know, Oxyotl, I will try another game with him, but I felt like he was absolutely garbage. I will try him again, but I felt he was really bad compared to other lords. But I'm going to try and get a game on each lord for every race, so I can kind of give you guys tips on how I feel they do. You know, 1600 value on the race and hunting on the Ripidactyl Riders, I'll take it. 100 kills on these, but they only did 136 gold, but they're at full HP. So, you know, I can't really judge them. Same as the Temple Guard. They did 900 gold worth of value, but look how much HP they've got left. You know, decent on the Raised and Hunting packs, 1300. I'll take that. The Chameleon Stalkers, I ran them in just as a screening unit. And a lot of their charges missed because they had to throw them in the trees. So, not a bad value, and they did their job. Each of the Stalkers, yeah, I'm happy with that value. They still have ammunition left. They've got a lot of HP left. So, it's, yes, none of the forces in this army packed, you know, 3,000 gold worth of value that you might see on a Way Watcher, but a Way Watcher's 1,200 cost in value. That's the best part of these 4 squads of skinks. So I've got a lot more bodies. Now that's not disputing how good Way Watchers is. It's just showing you that you can play different strategies for different armies, and don't be afraid to build your own strategies. That's been it on this video. I'll hit you up with more information, a better build, and maybe something a bit different on tomorrow's Total War game. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.